Hey guys, it's Icarus here.
And Amelia.
And I'm here to tell you if you'd like to join our brand new adventure. Go to DevonTaylorAuthor.com to learn more.
And check out the cool items like the new bucket hat.
Yeah, and so much more. See you guys there.
Devon Taylor, Devon Taylor, Devon Taylor, Devon Taylor, Devon Taylor podcast. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Devon Taylor podcast. Today we have an incredible guest whose journey is anything but ordinary. After spending over a decade producing film and TV in Los Angeles, Adam Brawer has made a bold pivot into the world of luxury real estate. But he's not just selling homes, he's transforming spaces and lives in the process. Known as the spiritual realtor, Adam blends his high-end real estate with energy cleansing, intention setting, ceremonies, and breathwork to help his high-profile clients create the perfect environment for success. With deep connections in Hollywood and some jaw-dropping stories from the intersection of entertainment and real estate, this is going to be a great conversation. So I'm happy to welcome Adam to the show. Hi.
Thanks so much for having me, Devon. Appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, I'd love for you to just kind of start with your story. How did you go from producing film and TV to moving into luxury real estate?
So I had in 2018 and 2019, I was involved in a few films, all of which collapsed at the last moment. The final film being Amber Heard's next film after Aquaman, which I sold to Amazon. And I was on location in Paris. We were location scouting, getting ready for the shoot, and the Amber Heard Johnny Depp divorce scandal erupted, and she got blacklisted. Nobody would work with her. None of the other actors would work with her, and killed the movie. And I missed my flight back from Paris to LA, and I started to have this anxiety because the movie was falling apart. I was going to have to tell our investors that, it's done, probably folding our company, of which I had, almost my entire retirement savings invested in. So it was like a triple whammy.
Wow.
And yeah, I had almost an existential crisis. I felt like out of control. I didn't really have I was constantly waiting for a celebrity to say yes. Like that, my whole life was like waiting for actors to say yes. And I felt helpless. And so when I missed my flight, I went to Iceland instead of coming back to LA. And I got really quiet by myself. And I just asked the universe for help. I said, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I'm lost. I need help. I cannot do this by myself. I don't know what the answer is. Please help me. And I asked some friends for advice. And the advice that I got from a bunch of people was get your real estate license. And I wasn't excited about it, but I didn't have any other better options. So that's what I did. And I thought I would do it, for a year or two in the meantime while I figured my life out. And very quickly, I learned to love it. So many aspects of it. And I just dove in head first. I burned all the ships. There was no second, no plan B. And I made it happen. Wow. I sold 17 homes my first year.
That's amazing. Just getting right into it. Oh my goodness. What, like when you were told real estate, what was going through your mind? Obviously it wasn't what you liked, but obviously something pulled you to it.
I was thinking like, I think I can do it. I'm pretty confident I can do it, but will I like it? I love beautiful homes, but when I started out, I wasn't selling beautiful homes. I was selling like homes in the valley that were not very beautiful. And, so I was just like, yeah, it felt like it was a pursuit that was just for money when I first started.
Yeah.
And, that by itself is not exciting to me, just by itself. That feels empty. But I realized so much more than that. It's the relationships. The other thing that was interesting is I felt unbelievably prepared for it because your skill set as a producer, producing is one of the hardest jobs on earth. You're just constantly pushing boulders up mountains and getting pushed back down and coming back up. And I had really thick skin, like rhino skin. So I came to real estate and I'm like, okay, I'm armored up, like I'm ready to go. What you got? And
I love it.
yeah, it just, in real estate, you're selling a necessity, housing. Somebody has to live somewhere. In film, you're generally selling dreams and ideas. And if your movie never gets made, the world will be just fine. So I felt like all of a sudden, okay, cool. All of these tools that I have, all of this knowledge that I've learned in entertainment is applicable here in real estate. And it's much faster and more lucrative. It's easier. It's super fun. You never know who's going to open the door.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, I've had wild experiences.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment.
Wow. What was the moment that you knew kind of like it was the right path for you? Obviously you sold 17 homes in your first year, but I mean, was there another moment where you were like, this is exactly what I should be doing?
When I realized that the more myself I am, the more successful I become. Like the more I wear hats like this and dance inside homes and sage people and like have parties, the more attractive the homes that I'm selling. Like I have a saying, ABC, always be celebrating. Celebrating your closing. So people want to be a part of the energy of celebration. So I realized, okay, the more fun I'm having, the more expressed I am, the flyer my fashion, the more myself I am, the more magnetic I become, the more people want to be around me, the more homes I sell. So I was just leaning into me and results were following. And that was not the way in the film business. It was like kind of an old boys club sort of.
Yeah. No, I could totally see that, and just the difference in being a part of TV and then going into the real estate world. But you've kind of done something that's unique. You've kind of blended real estate with, like I was saying, kind of like a spiritual side to it. What led you down that path? How did you kind of intertwine both of those things?
So in almost 20 years ago, I was in a cab that hit another car accident. I got 31 stitches in my chin, and I
Wow.
had neck problems for years. And it wasn't until I started doing a certain type of yoga that I had lasting relief. And so I started doing this type of yoga, and I started to develop a morning practice: breathwork, intention setting, meditation. And the more and more I started doing that, the better and better I felt. Then I started doing cold water immersion, quantum meditation, like Joe Dispenza teaches. And so when I first got into real estate, just before I first got into real estate, I told a friend that I was pivoting, and she went to 3 bookstores because they were all sold out. She got me the Joe Dispenza Becoming Supernatural book and 2 of his meditations. So every morning I would do my breath work and do his meditation, and I would deeply imagine what it would be like to sell luxury estates, what it would be like to arrive in a beautiful new car to Soho, Malibu, treating my friends to dinner because I just had a huge closing. And I would be in that energy day in, day out, day in, day out. Felt pretty good. I was like, I'm not sure I'm going to get there, but I'm going to keep doing this. And slowly but surely, things started to work. Not so slowly. Things started to work pretty quickly. And then I just leaned all the way in and started sharing my practices with clients.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, that's a true testament just to what you're doing. And, like you said, you leaned all the way in. And I think a lot of people kind of get stuck in that halfway or that middle point where you start to do the breath work or you start to become more spiritual, and, it gets hard, and, you kind of find yourself not really finding a way out of it. So that's super, super, I think, impactful for people to hear, kind of just leaning all in and, going for it.
Yeah. I mean, when I first started, I was like wearing suits and, going to houses, and I was like, this is not, I mean, I like wearing a nice suit, but I like to wear t-shirts too. It feels great. So
Yeah.
I started to wear, what I wanted to wear, and I just started to be more me, and people started to feel more comfortable, I think, around me because I wasn't, dressed up.
Yeah. I think honestly, that's what made me feel so called to do this interview so fast, was because when you reached out, there was such like a humility to you that you don't get a lot with people that are, working in the industry or have had experience in the industry, and you seemed so down to earth. So thank you for even being here, because I know a lot of people will be able to pull from your story and find inspiration with everything you're saying. So,
Thanks for having me. It's a
yeah,
pleasure here.
of course. So you work with celebrities, entertainment figures, and top entrepreneurs. What unique challenges do you say would come with catering to such a high profile clientele?
There are usually high expectations. Oftentimes, if a client feels like you can handle it, they'll just push stuff towards you. It's like, oh, you know, um, this is going on. Can you help out with this? Or like, we're having a roof leak, or yeah, whatever, or
Yeah.
my boyfriend's being abusive. Can you get security? Or whatever, just
Yeah.
random stuff. Or, get a call from a client and they're like, I don't know who else to talk to, but do you have a moment? I'm getting a divorce. I don't know how to handle it. So it's usually way beyond what the transaction is. It's like you're holding a lot of space for the client. You're
Mm.
helping them out in their life. The real estate is a huge part of it, but there's so much more than that. You're helping to change their life.
Absolutely. It's funny is that like my real estate agent that sold us this home that we live in now, I still kind of will communicate to her and the other person that helped us through the process. So I feel like that's pretty normal. But like you're even taking a step above and kind of like I said, you're doing the spiritual side with them and kind of helping them. Can you kind of walk us through what that would look like if we were to buy a home with you? And you're obviously going to lead us through the spiritual side, but also help us with the home buying process. What does that look like normally?
So a lot of the practices that I do, the spiritual practices, are more on the listing side when I sell a home. Um, but I'll tell you both. So when I sell a home, if I feel like the client is interested or would be receptive, I will lead them through a breathwork ceremony, and then I'll lead them through a guided intention setting ceremony where we call in the most aligned buyer. And it's usually myself and the couple, and we're sitting in the space together. We've got a smudge, Palo Santo, sage. I happen to trademark the phrase "from staged to saged," and I have my own brand of sage that I gift to my clients. So
Oh, wow.
we'll sit in the intention setting guided meditation, and I'll guide them through a process where we're bringing energetically in the most aligned buyer. Then I will sage the home. And it's not just a saging, I'm speaking into the universe, clearing the space energetically, making sure there's beautiful harmony in the home. Whether or not people know it, they can feel spaces
Mm.
subconsciously. So if anything heavy has happened in the home, if there was, domestic violence or a death, or it's really important, if it's really heavy, I'll bring in a heavy hitter and I'll hire somebody who moves into homes and clears spaces. I call them home healers.
Mm.
So that's on the list side. On the buy side, sometimes we'll do a sage ceremony with breath work, and then we'll dream up what the dream home is. I'll, ask them if you could wave, if you could wave a magic wand, and it goes exactly the way you want it to. How does that look? How does that feel? What does the home look like? And then we'll dream it together.
I love that. I want to buy a home with you now. That's
That's
so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, no, you don't get a lot of, I mean, usually real estate is just so traditional. And like you said, it's like a suit, you don't get a lot of personality within it. So just knowing that you're kind of creating like a deep connection with your clientele is so cool and inspiring, honestly, because you're like in your own lane. And I think it speaks for itself.
Thank you. That's what I love about it. I feel like I'm in my own lane. I don't
Mm.
know other realtors who are doing this, so it feels fresh and new uh, for clients, and it's super
Mm.
fun for me. So it's like, I remember last Monday, had a big weekend, a lot of stuff going on. Woke up Monday and I was like, here, what's the first thing on the calendar? 12 o'clock, Brentwood, sitting down with a couple to do breath work, meditation, intention setting, and then sage the house. And I was like, that's exactly how I want to start my week.
That's so cool. Yeah, my partner, when he saw that you were going to be the next interviewee, he was like, "Oh my gosh, that's someone we need to be connected with. That's so awesome!" Like, because he's all about breathworks. He's super spiritual and kind of has helped me navigate my process,
Oh,
with just becoming more spiritual and like working with a practitioner and Even the breathwork was something that we did early on when we got together, and something that was so new to me that I had never experienced before. So how
It's
is I was going to say, yeah, how has it changed your life? Like, obviously, like, you're incorporating it in, what you're doing, but what would you say are the benefits from doing breath work?
I feel a total state change.
Mm,
The energy before and after, and my mind are very, very different. It's an incredible stress reliever, and a natural energy boost. It I feel like it allows me to expand my container so I can hold more, especially with like big long breath holds and then long exhales where you're holding the energy out, you're creating deliberate stress, and then you're relieving that stress and releasing it. So I
mm,
feel like it's a portal where you go into it one person, you come out another person.
absolutely. Why did you feel it was so important to kind of make that a part of the process when it comes to your real estate journey?
For me, it was more sharing the spiritual gifts that I've learned and practiced myself with clients. I just,
Mm,
in talking with some people, I realized, oh, this person could really benefit from this. I'm
mm,
going to share it and see what they think.
yeah.
At first I was like, should I share this? This might rub them the wrong way, but no, it rub them the right way.
Right. Have you ever had a client that was skeptical about the spiritual aspect of your work? And like, how did you navigate that, if so?
I had somebody who once said I was, when they first met me, they thought I was like participating in cultural appropriation, where I
Mm,
wasn't authentic with. This is before they really got to know me, and I said, interesting. Like, I'd love to talk about that. And as they got to know me, they said, no, actually, sorry. I think that you're, doing this in a very honest, genuine way and very respectful. Um, I definitely have had earlier on. I had one client in particular who just like thought it was like kind of like a fun gimmick, and I was like, eh. She didn't. We parted ways.
mm,
I'm at the place now where I'm only working with aligned clients.
yeah.
So if something's not a match both ways, it's not going to happen.
Mm, I love that. How do you find I mean, obviously they come to you, they hear about you, but how do you find your aligned clients for the most part? Are they mostly coming to you, or is it, something where they see you on Instagram? I mean, I see you have so many followers, obviously that word of mouth is pretty big, but how are you
Word of
getting most?
mouth, a lot of referrals. So a lot of past clients talking to. I like to offer what I call a fabled level of service, a level of service that's so high that clients can't help but talk about it.
Mm,
So a lot of my business is referrals, a lot. It's taken a while to get there, but I'm there. Um, Honestly, most of my business is that. The business that's not referral, I mean, one thing of like, it's really almost all referral at this point. Originally, it was different. I was like brand new and was kind of down to work with anybody.
yeah.
And I would meet people at open houses. Sometimes I will meet clients at open houses. Actually, that is one way.
Mm,
Um, Other than that, it's a lot of referrals, which I like because if it's a referral, it's coming from an aligned person. It's probably going to be an aligned client.
right. You kind of created like a community for yourself in a sense, if you think about it. Like, you're
Exactly.
getting the business that you want from the people that, are aligned and kind of, within the realm of what you're doing already. So that's beautiful. What advice would you give to anyone looking to buy a home now? Maybe they're hearing your story for the first time, and they're probably not buying a luxury home, but they're looking to buy a home and working with the real estate agent. What would you say is what aspects should they be looking for in their real estate agent?
I'd say the relationship with the agent is important. There should be a lot of trust. It's real. As an agent, you have a fiduciary responsibility to your client for in their best interests. So it's really important that whichever agent you choose truly has your best interests at hand. Unfortunately, it's common where an agent has their best interests at hand and they're looking to close deals so they can get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say first and foremost, trust with your agent. Also picking the right agent, somebody who really knows what they're doing.
Mm.
New agents can be quite good, and honestly, they might have tons of time and you'll get an incredible amount of attention if they're good at what they do. Otherwise, I would say choose somebody who has experience in the area, who's great relationships, who has a great reputation, who's honest, and also will really fight for you. Because
Mm.
when push comes to shove, you want someone in your corner. I would want someone in my corner who's a bulldog, who's not going to get pushed around at all.
Right. Absolutely. So you've dealt with both Hollywood and now luxury real estate. What have you learned about like handling the pressure and stress from both of those environments?
When I was in entertainment, I was doing a tremendous amount of yoga and spinning, and just the stress was so high that I needed an outlet.
Mm.
I'd say the stress is different in real estate. I'll say it's less. Even though the stakes are super high, you're dealing with generally most people's most prized asset. I still feel less stressed. But I mean, I'm going to the gym in about an hour, lifting weights, super important. Hiking, gratitude. I do gratitude hikes where I'm just walking down a trail solo, talking to the universe. It's a beautiful thing. Once in a while, when people walk by, I get a little quieter. I pick it back up. Um, yeah, I'd say also things that you can do that cause deliberate stress that allow you to deal with that stress, like breath work, cold plunges, intense workouts. I feel like I'm constantly testing myself by doing all those things, and it builds up an armor around me so that when I'm
Mm.
in the world and let's say someone's trying me, an agent is trying me, or there's a difficult situation, I feel extremely equipped to deal with it because it's much easier than sitting in a 40-degree ice bath.
Yeah. Have you have you found it easier to work with the high clientele that you have more than you thought it may have been? Like, have you had any like regretful moments working with such a high clientele, or has it been pretty easy for you since since you've started?
There have definitely been challenges for sure. I'd say one thing that I do better now than when I first started is setting boundaries with clients
Mm.
where I'm not at somebody's beck and call. I'm available when I'm available, and generally I'm available. But if a client is overstepping bounds, I'll have a conversation about it. If it happens multiple times, I will tell them that I'd like them to consider all the work that I've done to date as a gift, and I wish them the
Mm.
best. And
Mm.
sometimes, when you part ways with a client like that, they're just like, "What?" And you're like, "Yes, just consider it a gift. You're so welcome. And if you want to work with somebody else, I'm happy to make a recommendation, but I will no longer be working with you."
Mm. I love you said that. Boundaries are so important in today's world, and I feel like a lot of people are starting to figure that out, but at different degrees and different levels. But that's something definitely that I've found something that was hard for me as being younger, but as I've grown and evolved into myself, I've found boundaries really help kind of cultivate just your overall life and everything around you. So I'm glad you said that.
Mhm.
Because you've been both part of real estate and entertainment, I'd love, you've been our first real estate person, and I'm so grateful for that because I've had other people that were supposed to come on for whatever reason, it didn't work out. So I'm so glad we're getting from your perspective. But if you could give one piece of advice that anyone that's trying to get into real estate that may be listening to this episode, what kind of advice would you give them?
I'd say number one, if you want to do it, fully commit yourself. This is not a part-time situation. Your cousin, your aunt wants to buy a house. If you want to be successful, commit yourself 100%. No backup plan.
Mm.
In, just go all the way and learn as much as you can as quickly as possible. You learn in patches. This stuff's not taught in books. Once you get your license, you're not really equipped to practice real estate until you actually get in the real world and deal with obstacles and challenges and things that you did not expect.
Yeah.
I'd say be flexible, make yourself available to work. I made myself available to work 7 days a week the first year that I started working. So anytime there was an opportunity, the answer was yes. I'm 100% there. First listing I got, I split it with 2 agents. I made almost no money. But off the back of that, not only did I sell the listing, I got another listing and 2 more sales directly off of that listing. And I
Wow.
just I said yes to an opportunity that did not even seem like a good opportunity. It seemed like a kind of like a waste of time. So I'd say make yourself available and don't be afraid to work. There are a
Mm.
lot of lazy realtors out there. The bar is low.
Very low. What made you say yes about that then? I mean, knowing what you knew about it, what
I
like,
spoke to one of the agents. Well, number one, I was like 7 weeks into the business, had never had a listing before. And I said, the worst case scenario is I waste my time, but I'll at least have gotten the experience of listing a home. Hopefully we'll have sold it, even if I'm not really making much money at all. The other
mm,
agent said, trust me, other opportunities will come because of this. That's the real reason I did it. And that was really good advice because many more opportunities came because of that.
that's amazing. Wow. Trusting, trust, trust, trust. Did you hear that, everyone? I'd love to ask because I saw a story about the hat and you were kind of explaining it, but I wanted to ask you when you were on the podcast, just more about your hat. I love the design and everything, but if you could explain like what made you, yeah.
So, it's custom made, obviously. It's tight. So the hat maker, his name is Busto. He's out of Topanga. He studied under the maestro hat maker who creates Hermes's hats. He's an Italian guy. So I wanted to create a hat for my birthday.
Mm,
Um, so this is an arrowhead right here. Got a double bow with like a tie-dye pattern. Matches the brim. My birthday is in December, so I'm a Sagittarius. So we've got the arrow and we've got the archer. Right? This is just post fires. So I did a little ode to Topanga, which is my neighborhood,
mm,
which barely survived the fires. I've got a a motto, ABC, always be celebrating. Here we got a logo of a new beautiful mega listing I'm about to launch called The Horizon in Beverly Hills. And here we've got a very unique crease. I've almost never seen this before. And I put all
yeah.
those here and I was like, that's a pretty fly hat.
That is. I saw it and I was like, wow, that's a really nice hat. And you said you're a December
Yep.
baby, right? So am I, the 22nd.
Oh, nice. Are you, so you're just past?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just passed. I'm like on the cusp. I'd like to say I'm a Capricorn, but I've got Sagittarius tendencies, I would
Mm,
say.
those are good
So,
tendencies.
yeah. I just have a few more questions. I kind of wanted to ask if you could go back and give your younger self advice before you started this journey. What would it be?
If I could give my younger self advice, before I started this journey as an adult in business or in real estate?
I would say, let's say real estate, because I feel like that was like a big jumping point for you. And
Yes.
um, yeah, like real estate specifically.
I would say get a real estate coach as early as possible. This is also my advice to new realtors. If I could do it all over again, I would have gotten a real estate coach on day one.
Mm,
Somebody who is a mentor, who's done it, who knows what he's doing or she's doing, who can cut my learning curve down by years. If I had done that day one, I would be doing even better than I am today. It took
mm.
me about a year and a half to get a real estate coach, and one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Why do you think it was the best decision you made? What made
Um,
like what difference was made when you got one?
only I can point to a bunch of deals that happened because of his advice. One
Mm,
listing specifically, other sales, just a master. Also, like we could go back and forth and practice delivering bad news.
mm,
Oftentimes, it's not the news that really ruins things, it's the way it's delivered. And
yeah.
so the practice, the getting those reps in was massive.
Well, that's great advice. I know that anyone that's listening that's looking to break into real estate is going to pull some great aspects from this interview. I did have one more question just for people that are looking to create a more positive space in their home. What's one ritual or practice that you recommend for anyone that's looking to have more alignment in their home, their life, anything that can bring them more, I guess, just like happiness overall? What would you say would be a great ritual or practice that you do that you would recommend?
I would do two things. One, I would have a fountain, a bubbling fountain to create that sense of serenity in the home. It also brings abundance per feng shui. Then I would light incense the moment you come home. Create a multi-sensory experience for yourself. It's the therapeutic sound of the water, it's the scent of the incense, and then I would also sage yourself when you come in the door. And you're clearing your energy, anything from the day, any remnants of whatever, you leave at the door and you start fresh once you're inside your home. It'll create a sense of harmony.
I love that. Wow, it's so funny that you said a fountain because we have a lot of space here. My partner was talking about like renovations he would do, and a fountain, I believe, is one of the things he said he would love because he loves water, just water in general. So that's yeah, that's amazing. Well, I thank you so much again for being here and just, telling your story, letting us in and kind of just giving us the luxury real estate side and honestly, just like your struggles, but how you were able to find your way through. Where can anyone that's looking to work with you find you? Where can they follow you? If you want to leave all of that, we'll leave your tags in the show notes as well.
Yeah, Instagram at Adam Brawer, AdamBrawer. My website, Adam Brawer Estates, ESTATES.com. Those are the two best spots. If they want to email me, it's Adam at AdamBrawerEstates.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much again. And I don't know if you want to leave anyone with anything, but I truly appreciate your time and really, really, really thank you for being here and telling your story once again.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Devon. I really appreciate it.
Of course. All right, guys, until next time. Are you ready to transform your life with the power of living water? Hi, I'm Devon Taylor, and I want to share an incredible discovery that's changed my life and my family's life: living water. Imagine waking up every morning feeling refreshed, energized, and ready to conquer the day. With living water, it's not just a dream, it's our new reality. We've been sleeping better, eating healthier, and have more energy than ever before. But that's not all. Our secret to this newfound vitality is available to you too. Visit our website at thelivingwatercouple.com and discover how living water can revolutionize your health and wellness. And there's more. Tune into our podcast, available on all streaming platforms and YouTube, where we dive deep into the science and benefits of living water. Hear from experts, satisfied customers, and learn how you can make this life-changing decision for yourself. But don't wait too long. Prices for our water machines and supply are going up in July 2024. Now is the perfect time to invest in your health and well-being. So, head over. Remember, living better starts with living water. Living water, drink, thrive, and live your best life. Visit thelivingwatercouple.com today.